guys hear that? You hear that? You know that's the sound of you making money because you subscribe to Ryan Trades. At this channel, we provide the best setups available. We also do not try to predict the market, but react to it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, big thing is, following the attacks on Saturday, French president has declared that he's going to be deploying 7,000 troops among the French country. And the idea behind this is just to keep up awareness because there's been a stabbing over the weekend, and there also has been multiple bomb threats by extremists of the Hamas group. So, following that, they're going to be heightened security. And then also the U.S. decided to deploy 2,000 troops over to Israel as medical support. So that's going to play a little bit of a escalation role, I believe, this week. But in terms of the market, the big thing it always comes down to is money in oil. So once oil prices start going up, in terms of markets, once oil prices start going upwards, that's going to take a hit on earnings on companies in the U.S. So once the oil supply chain ends up getting affected and prices go up with oil, then you could expect some more disruptions with the U.S. stock market. But until that happens, I don't believe that there's going to be much of a reaction to the whole war, unless that we end up declaring war. But let's get into the price action reviews. So Tesla, the big thing I'm going to be watching for Tesla for tomorrow is going to be to see if we end up holding up this 250 level, and to see if 254 could end up breaking down. Now, the big thing I'm going to be watching is the lower end of the symmetrical triangle. If we start breaking below it, then definitely be concerned, especially if you get a candle close below it. That would be the biggest concerning factor for Tesla. But expect a bounce off of this trend line tomorrow. And if we end up pumping upward, then I would really watch, let's see, well, obviously 250, but I would also watch 255. 255 would be a major area to watch for Tesla. Next one we're going to be going over is Apple. Apple opened up pretty far down today, ended up making it back, closed the gap, and held up pretty nicely. So that's very bullish, shows a lot of strength within the buyers. So the big thing to watch tomorrow is if we can hold the 21 EMA, and to see if we could end up pushing possibly to 180. If we end up pushing to 180, great. If we close above 180, then that'll definitely support more upside. If we reject it, then you expect maybe an inside candle this following week. So that's what I'm watching for Apple. Now, in terms of Microsoft, what I'm going to be watching on that is going to see how this 332.64 level ends up playing out. If it continues to act as a major resistance level, then you can expect more downside. Considering the increase in volume too, that's also a concerning factor. It's not a major increase, but still enough. So you could get a little bit more downside tomorrow. I know in my previous video I said once we had this candle that there was about a 68% chance of downside. We got minor downside, nothing crazy, but downside nevertheless. But just keep in mind this is an inverted hammer, so you might get some downside tomorrow. If we do get that downside, the big thing to watch is going to be 328.80, and yeah, so I just watch this range between 328.80 and 332.64. Now, the next thing I'm going to be watching, and what I've been calling out for a couple of weeks now, is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, I've been saying to watch its head and shoulders pattern, as I predicted, and as I would assume, market symmetry ended up playing a role so far with it. We hit this, what was the high here? 476.09, which from the left shoulder to the top was about 7.8%. From this shoulder to the top was about 9%. So pretty good market symmetry, not the best, but still nevertheless pretty symmetrical. So I would watch to see how this head and shoulders plays out. If we start making a move to this neckline, then I would be getting a little bit more bearish on NVIDIA. But until that happens, I would stay bullish on them. But just keep in mind the pattern that you're in. We did hold the 21 EMA today, so that was a big thing for us to do. Now, the close of this candle right here would be an interesting area to watch. I'd say 470 is an area that I would be very interested in to see how price reacts to that. So the big thing I'm watching for tomorrow for NVIDIA is 449.86 on that 21 EMA. See if that ends up holding up. If we hold up that, we push to the upside, I would watch 470. Now if we push to the downside, watch for a close below that 21 EMA. And I would expect to find support probably at 437. So the next thing that we're going to be going over is SPY. So the big thing on SPY is going to be this range right here between 431.50 and 437. If we break 437, then you can definitely find a lot more upside coming. Now, if we end up breaking down 437, end up hitting 431.50 tomorrow, and end up melting downwards, then expect more downside. But I doubt that we're going to make that big of a move in one day. But just in case, just get prepared. But trade it within this range until you break out. Then I would go bullish or bearish. Next one that I'm going to be going over is one that I have currently have a position in is McDonald's. You can see here, I drew out the bear flag. So just keep that in mind that we are entering into a bear flag pattern, meaning there's a higher chance that there's going to be downside likely. But also keep in mind that you got this, I wouldn't consider it a hammer candle really, but I would consider it a hammer doji. But you got a lot of volume on it, 2 times above average volume. So that's going to be, I believe, buyers entering the market. So that's why I end up entering into McDonald's. I'm very bullish on them. So the big thing I'm going to be watching on McDonald's is this 253.39 resistance and support at 246. So that's what I'm going to be watching for McDonald's and for the stocks tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And good